Hi, how are you going? Welcome to me, Redsky, here on another round of Right Screens, where you for righteous ruins to you guys, my beautiful other viewers. Thank you, everyone, for joining me. We are going to now, in delayed fashion or form, as I always do, continue with the part 2. Now, this is the recovery side of the addiction. So we are doing the recovery from addiction spread now, the RFA spread. This is the part 2 for January and February of 2023. This is the obviously second part to the addictions and recovery spread. We've split them in two now. The first part is the addiction side of it. The second part, which we're about to do now, is the recovery side of it. So whether you're 1 hour, 1 minute, 1 moment in time in the stages of recovering from any and all addictions, or whether you're further down the line, a week, a month, a year, 22 and more counting, this is the place for you. Because whenever we are recovering from an addiction, we are constantly throughout that time in sporadic, periodic, joyful times sporadically through, we are challenged with facing different aspects of ourselves and maybe those around us, be that as it may, where the addiction creeps back in. Now, I've found, and this is just from my perspective, this by no means is in any way correct in legal jargon terms, but from my perspective personally, I've not found anyone in the stages of recovery, no matter how many years, that aren't constantly challenged by their addiction or constantly needing to be on guard of that fact. Addiction is something that will always be a problem, is what I'm trying to get at, I think. Whether you're, in day dot or many years down the road of recovery, it's still something that is a challenge. It becomes more manageable, more easier, obviously, as you travel through them times and years and so on. But by no means am I telling you this to discourage you, because you should not. It's about understanding that this isn't something that just fluff it away and it's all golden and good, because it's if I was to tell you that, I would be lying to you and you would not succeed, because you would not be understanding the tools that you need and how this works to really overcome this. This is a lifelong battle. If you have addictive tendencies, you will always be an addictive personality. Not with all things, but especially in that niche that you were addicted to, which is what you're recovering from now. That's always something that's going to need to be managed in the future. It becomes easier and more manageable, of course. But does it ever leave you? I'm here to tell you no. And that's an honest answer. If you want honesty, that's what you're going to get here. It's not great to know that. But knowing that is power, people. And power and knowledge is what's going to get you through that next day, year, month, blah. Because knowledge is key. And when you have the key, you're going to be in the best situation to king it, to own it, to master it, to make it work for you. And that is what I'm all about here. It's about giving you the tools, the information, the knowledge, so you can make it happen and feel empowered to do so. Now, ladies and gentlemen, as I said, this is for any and all of you beautiful beings recovering from any and all addictions. And there is a list of a multitude of many. We're going to talk about January and February of 2023. And I have a special spread for you. It's very similar to the part 1, but some of the meanings I've altered and changed, and to make it a little bit tailor-made for use in recovery rather than those in the other side of the flip of the coin. Now, I hope this resonates for you today, as I've said before, this is a Red Ski Righteous original spread. This is why I started my channel. It was all for those that have problems such as addictions and those in recovery from addictions. In my nearly 39 years on this earth, believe it or not, I've seen a lot of shit. Even today, I still see a lot of shit in this world. I would much rather not. And yes, I'm not looking my best today. And that isn't bad cameraing, though. That I really ain't looking my best today. But that's not why we're here. We're here for you. Patterns, behaviours. Sometimes become ingrained into us, but does not mean that you can't change. If we recognise it, take responsibility and own it, and then take steps to change it, and then maintain that change constantly and evolutionary moving forward. And that's what I hope for you all today, to be able to take from this. A little bit of a hug, a bit of a pat on the back, but also a leg up to get that next step, to get through this next, whatever it is that you are challenged with today, tomorrow, next month, or even next year. I want you all to know that you are not alone. And most importantly, I am so goddamn bloody proud of each and every single bloody one of you. You are superstars. You should be so goddamn proud of yourself. Whether you're 1 hour, 1 minute, 1 moment, 1 week, 1 year, good on you. Good on you. You should be mighty bloody proud, because I am of you. So let's get into it now and do the recovery from an addiction spread for January and February 2023. Leave a like, feel free to comment if you would like to do so. I know there's anonymity needed with a lot of this that we're discussing today. I wish you all the very best of luck, even though I feel that you are really in a good place right now, regardless of what's on the cards for you today. Know that I love each and every single one of you, and that I'm wishing and gifting you all my energy, light and love for you, as I said, to get the next day, next step, or the next leg up above the next challenge that you are faced with, be that for whatever it may be for the rest be. If you've not done so already, definitely consider subscribing to the channel and hitting that big red subscribe button for me, pushing that notification bell to all, because as of in February we go live for all readings, including these spreads. So I'll be live, you can converse with me and we can talk back and forth. And if you have any questions you'd like to ask me, you can feel free to do so. Let's hit it. January, February 2023, recovering from any and all addictions. I wish you all the very best of luck. Here we go. So guys, sorry, I'm going to just change the positioning a bit here because I kind of wanted you to see the cards if possible. It is a little bit dark and dreary where I am today, so it is a little bit not so great for the viewing, I must admit. I hope we could just work with what we've got anyway, okay? So for everybody, any and all people in their stages of recovery from an addiction in January and February of 2023, please, spirits and guides, ancestors and source, more information, and thank you so much, Spirit. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. I wish you all the very best of luck, regardless of what's on the cards. Remember, you have free will. Choices are that of your own. Now, I'm using a new deck of my AA, you know, my loyal and faithful. But I must admit, this copy of this deck is different. No, not different. Well, kind of. It's a lot faded in its colours, and I'm not loving it, in all honesty. Some are full and beautiful, like this Magician here, for example, in colour, but then you have something like the Strength card, which is really null and void of its popping colour, and I'm kind of a little bit disappointed in all honesty. I've been buying this deck since I started my channel 3 years ago, and I swear by it's my right away. This is a brand new deck that I bought. It's been in my closet for a while because I always have a spare deck ready to go, so when I burn through a deck I can replace it instantly. But this is not my usual AA deck. The colours are very mute. It's not crisp picturing. It's disappointing, I must admit, and it's not like me to say that. And I do want to start the reading with a bit of a badger number, but yeah, I don't know if the ink was running out when they printed it or whether it's a new edition of their deck. They're doing it this way now. I don't like it. Please go back to the original colouring, otherwise it's not popping with me, you know what I mean? It's not resonating with me. So let me know what you think, guys, if you've ever had this deck and if you're experiencing that. Sorry to digress. Let's continue now. So recovery from addictions, January and February. So we start off with the first position, which is about you now here currently, your current energy, what we're sporting at the moment, my darlings, and that would be the Five of Cups in reverse. We're trying to be very hopeful and really look forward with a lot of glass half full rather than the glass half empty mentality. We may be feeling a little bit emotionally overtaxed at the moment and like our cup is running empty. But we are very much in an energy of being hopeful, trying to take the misery of grief or loss or and molding it into something positive through positive thinking, attitude, or emotional way of things. There really is a sense here with this position in this card that we're really putting on the positive thinking, attracting and manifesting a positive outcome through positive thinking, action or doing. The next position reflects your current obstacles or challenges for the month of January and February. And this I found interesting. So we have the Ten of Pentacles here, a rather lovely card for a very odd position. The Ten of Pentacles reflects riches, inheritance, family connections within your home, the home itself, and all that security and abundance that's come through it, the material and the attained. Tens of completions, and this is really saying here that your biggest challenge is finding the riches and the security within your home, your family, your inheritance, and your ancestral history. Seems like there may be a bit misjointedness. The challenge is to find this within what you already have or what you do have or want. The next position explains how you feel emotionally at the moment. You feel emotionally isolated here, I feel, with the Hermit, Virgo's major. Your feelings are that of aloneness, of solidarity, of self, following your own knowledge, being your own security. It's all you, but only you. In the emotional sector, for this card, I would say that you do feel very isolated, very pushed out in the cold perhaps, or just very much like you have no one to rely upon or that you don't need anybody. Maybe a bit of both. The next position reflects what your thoughts are, what you're thinking at this time, and we're thinking the Three of Pentacles reverse. Mediocre, money problems, can't collaborate well with others, misunderstanding others. Our thoughts are that we don't resonate or understand a lot of what other people are trying to collaborate with us or trying to bring to the table. There is a bit of disjointedness here, I want to say. Your next position reflects how to better manage and maintain this course of recovery. So how to maintain and to really manage. The advice is the Two of Pentacles reverse. Be very careful of money commitments. It would be my advice with this card. You know, not being able to have agility to handle your money matters. Money is really not the best thing for you to be managing right now. I would actually suggest with this position with this card that you get a third party to manage your money matters, or have everything either direct debited or come out of your account, so you're not actually physically getting money and physically touching money, in all honesty. Either hire an accountant or someone to take care of your financial position, so they're actually paying it for you for a small fee or something to that nature. I really would strongly suggest that during this period of time that you are not handling your money or anything to do with that side of your life. I would be seeking to get someone else independent of myself to do so. Your next position is all about the future, knowledge, wisdom. What can you take forward from this reading? Leo's Major Arcana, the Strength card. To take forward with you, strength, courage, tenacity, zest. Backing yourself, using what you've got to your advantage here in an infinite-like setting. She is not forcing the line. She's using the force the line is gifting to manage it with very little effort. This is the knowledge and wisdom you do need to know here. You have all you need. It's about managing how you actionize that energy. You can burn yourself out by forcing it, trying to maneuver and manipulate it, or you can use what you've got to your advantage by tweaking it, moving with it, and bringing it into the forefront with strength, tenacity, and much, much agility here. Next card reflects moving forward. Some advice moving forward for you, and that would be Cancer's Major, the Chariot, and this is all about forward movement. This is about adversity, going through the trials, the turmoil, the difficult, to rise up and have adversity through triumph. It's also about balance and being very much divinely guided. It's all about timing too, in some ways. Seeing that opportunity and having the balls and gall, I guess you could say, to move it, to make it happen. Being very balanced and very, very open to the cause. The next three cards we have is a rough outcome and some extra information of that to help clarify a little bit more for you. This I found a little bit interesting. With all this going on and looking all very plentiful, this outcome and clarifying does concern me somewhat, because there's a message here that is of high warning. Let me explain. The Fool reverse, the Magician reverse with the Page of Swords reverse. Being extremely neglectful and not appreciating simplicities. Being very selfish and self-indulgent and neglecting responsibilities, other people, and everything around you. The Magician reverse, mercurial energy coming through here. This is the trickster. This is the practical joker, the one that uses their position for trickery and nonsense. The Page of Swords reverse is someone that is not being genuine of self. They're not telling you the truth. They're not acting the way they actually think. They're masking. They're imitating. They're not being genuine. This is concerning. We need to be authentic. We need to be of self. And we need to be upfront and honest, not only to ourselves, but those around us, if we want to keep moving forward in a position of strength and will of tenacity. These beautiful cards. This I don't like it so much. This I don't really like at all. This is someone that's being extremely selfish, neglectful, being very trickster, conning people perhaps, or just being a little bit of a pain in bottom. But someone that's also not being genuine of what they think and what they genuinely, their plans here. They're not being honest. The whole underlying energy for this period, the whole underbelly of it all is the Six of Pentacles reverse, not equal give and take. Being made to beg for what is rightfully yours. Money being taken or withheld from you. Yeah, to clarify this outcome, I asked for more information. They've given me the Hierophant in reverse. This is Taurus's major arcana, but it's also sacrificing greatly for something that may not be worth its cause, losing faith in what you believe in, or changing spiritually what your beliefs are, or tweaking it in some way. You may be giving up on seeking counsel from a counselor and or someone of higher position, or someone that you once regarded as someone that you could console in. What sacrifice has been gifted is been kind of wasted, or you've gifted so much sacrifice to others that you're going without yourself. The pool is empty here. There's 3 major arcana here, all reversed out of the 4 cards for this outcome. And I really don't like the vibrational energy that's wafting off of it, I guess you could say. No good deed goes unpunished, I want to say to you. And you need to focus on your own track. I feel like this outcome is either someone coming in that you're dealing with, or an attitude that you've had before which is creeping on in. This needs to be stamped down. I don't like it yet. The Lovers in reverse. This could be a connection with someone that is very unsatisfactory. It's very not good for you, and I really would honestly advise not to dabble in this at all. Now, out of 5 cards, I've got 4 majors. The Fool reverse, the Magician reverse, the Hierophant reverse, and now the Lovers reverse. Gemini, Taurus, Mercury energy. This is something that's unrequited, unsatisfactory, that really needs to end and stop. Whatever this connection is, whether it's a love connection, family connection, friendly connection, or connection you even have of self, an extra extended part of self, this is not good for you. It's deceitful, it's disgenuine, it makes you, it's neglectful, it's self-priding and egotistical, I want to say as well. And it's tricky. I'm hearing that song, it's tricky to rock around, That's right, Black Time is tricky. Tricky, 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 tricky. Who? And that's exactly what this is. Very tricky shit. Sorry if you're recovering from swearing addiction. I apologize. I do try to keep my mouth clean during these readings. Sometimes I get a little worked up. And this works me up. This works me up a lot, guys. Being a little bit naive, perhaps. Being a little bit in the bubble and not seeing things what they are. Getting tricked or being tricked, or being the trickster. Some sort of deceit through mishandling and misjudgment and misdirection of thought and appearance here. The Page of Swords reverse. Someone masking, someone being disgenuine. Losing our faith, our counsel, our guidance. What sacrifice is gifted has been wasted, or will reap no benefit or reward, especially for you. The Lovers reverse. A realization of an unrequited relationship and or connection that is no good for you. It is soured. It is time to let it go. Is what I'm hearing. It's time to let it go. Recovering is hard. And we, as I said at the beginning of this, at the intro, that it is never easy. It is never fought without difficulty, and it is always challenged by people, places, and things, and so on. I applaud you to look inside of yourself. Strength. Find that courage, that tenacity, and that abundance of inner light and courage you have inside yourself. Move forward, the Chariot, with that adversity and that as your gumption to make the wheels turn in your favor, to get through the turmoil, the mud of life. And find your inner balance, not in black and or white, but in a blend of in between, of fusion. I feel like that is where the best place to be for you is. I'm going to get you guys a spirit animal to help guide and assist you with an additional message for this period of January and February 2023 for any and all of my beautiful people today suffering, in recovery from an addiction. Additional message. Oh, how lovely. And I'm glad I listened to my intuition and pulled that card for you, because I believe this is a beautiful message for you. Your spirit animal for January and February, those in recovery, is none other than the beautiful honeybee. Let compassion and forgiveness be your top priority in this situation. To reap all the sweetness that life has to offer, focus on compassion and forgiveness. Compassion means that you have heartfelt empathy for the suffering and misfortune of others, yet remain somewhat detached so that you don't take on their sorrow and distress as your own. Forgiveness requires that you first acknowledge and accept responsibility for your judgments rather than pretending they don't exist or professing to always sustain a non-judgmental attitude. The next step is to release those judgments. To do so, think of someone, past or present, with whom you have judgments or criticisms. Trust that the first person that comes to mind is the appropriate one to start with. Consider 2 or 3 specific criticisms that you have about this individual, preferably capture with one word such as selfish or cold. Find a quiet place, go inside yourself, and look for that part of you that's exactly like what you're judging in this other person. It may be a very prominent part of yourself, or rather a small aspect. You may identify it by recalling times when you've behaved in a way that resembled what you're criticizing. Once you discover that part of you, simply say to it, "I love you," and forgive you. If necessary, repeat 2 or 3 times, and notice any emotions that come up. In the coming days, be aware of any feelings that arise that may associate with this experience. Practice this at least once daily for the next few days and watch what happens. The associations with the beautiful honeybee are productivity, community, cooperation, sweetness, love, compassion, forgiveness, rhythm, awakening, nature, poetry, mother goddess, royalty, and nutrition. My beautiful beings in stages of recovery from addictions, your spirit animal for January and February 2023 is the honeybee. Compassion and forgiveness to all, including yourselves. I love you all. Thank you for joining me here. Let's get righteous rings, raw, righteous raw as always, and I'll look forward to seeing you again on the next round. Till then, blessed be. I wish you all the very best in your stages of recovery. Bye all.